This article comes from the Friday, March 25th edition of the New York Times. GE turns the taxman away empty-handed. General Electric, the nation's largest corporation, had a very good year in 2010. The company reported worldwide profits of $14.2 billion and said $5.1 billion of the total came from its operations in the United States. Its American tax bill? None. In fact, GE claimed a tax benefit of $3.2 billion. Its extraordinary success is based on an aggressive strategy that mixes fierce lobbying for tax breaks and innovative accounting that enables it to concentrate its profits offshore. While General Electric is one of the most skilled at reducing its tax burden, many other companies have become better at this as well. And so that money that's not going into our national budget, and then the fact that its profits were made overseas and a lot of its manufacturing is overseas means that a lot of the money that it does generate for others is overseas. The jobs and then the profits are overseas. Its taxes are in its own pocket. So that's where that stands. Continuing on with jobs and the economy, this comes from the Friday 25th New York Times. The article is short on funds, but long on pink slips. Southern California suburb to lay off nearly half its workers. This is Costa Mesa, California. To solve a looming pension crisis and budget gap, city officials here said they needed to take drastic action. Nearly half of the city's workers were told late last week that come September they would probably be out of a job. Nearly every city department will be eliminated. More than a dozen tasks will be outsourced, including graffiti removal, firefighting, building maintenance, and street cleaning. Unlike the drama that played out over the last 2 months in Madison, Wisconsin, the battle over public workers in this bustling suburb, an upscale shopping mecca in the heart of Orange County, is happening at lightning speed. Layoff letters went out last week to more than 200 of the city's roughly 450 workers, sending many of them into a panic as they scurry to look for new jobs. The move will, in one great swoop, reinvent municipal government here and perhaps lead the way for other cities. Emotions in Costa Mesa, already running high, grew more intense after one city worker, summoned to receive his pink slip, instead climbed 5 stories to the roof of the city hall and jumped to his death. This is the Wisconsin labor battle in miniature. Union officials and opponents of layoffs say it is politics and not money that is driving the decision. City officials say they do not know how much money they will save through outsourcing. Other city officials have not ruled out outsourcing the duties of the police department, one of the only departments not included in the first round of layoffs. Although other employees, like city planners and engineers, many have avoided the pink slips for now, few feel confident that they will not be laid off later, as a team of consultants considers cost savings for the entire city. So again, we've got corporations like GE who are doing very well this year and the previous year, but then we also have in the public sector those governments that are choosing to take drastic action, anticipating a shortage of funds in the public sector. Well, I'm looking at the other side, and again, I'm glad it's going to be evaluated. I'd be interested to know what they conclude. The last article is from the Friday, the last article is from the New York Times, the Friday, March 25th edition. This is concerning smart meters, which we've covered before on Green New Deal. We talked about the smart grid And these are smart meters, which is the first step. Here's the article right here. And it's PG&E offers critics option to turn off smart meters. San Francisco Pacific Gas and Electric proposed a solution on Thursday for Northern Californians who do not want so-called smart electricity meters installed in their homes. They must accept them, but may have their wireless radio signals turned off, the company said. The meters have been the focus of protests in suburban communities or counties north and south of San Francisco and the coastal regions near Santa Cruz and Monterey. Customers have complained that the signals cause headaches, nausea, and dizziness. The meters communicate with the grid, giving it constant information on electricity use and let customers monitor their energy use online. Those who opt out must pay more, partly because their consumption will not be transmitted automatically, and meter readers will have to gather the information, PG&E said. So that's the other side of the coin. I'm glad they're going to evaluate the bridges. I'd be interested to know what they conclude about our bridges. That's why this edition is called Iowa World. Iowa is a key part of this great nation, but also a very relevant player on the world stage as well. And maybe some people assume that this is a flyover state, but what happens here affects the world through our presidential elections, through our agricultural industry, such as corn and ethanol, our advances in wind energy, our discoveries about biofuel and its effect on the food industry. We have the World Food Prize here. We've got many, many things happening in the Iowa area. At the same time, we also have the interesting factor of things happening on the other side of the world, such as India or Japan, affecting us directly in terms of manufacturing, environmental health, workers' rights, job creation, whether jobs are created here or overseas, whether corporations are making their profits overseas or over here, whether we're receiving tax money from those corporations or whether they're finding ways to not pay their taxes. All these affect us in our local economy, so it's very important to pay attention. And that's Iowa World. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 23 of Blue.Green.Fusion, and I hope to see you again next time.